I told my single friend to get a boyfriend. It was just a joke at first. So my friend Kelsey had been single for like 2 years. Every time we hung out, I would make some dumb comment about it. Like if she ordered fries, I would be like, oh, you need a boyfriend to steal those from. Or if she complained about her car making a weird noise, I would say, well, if you had a boyfriend, he could check that. Stupid stuff. I thought it was funny. She would roll her eyes and tell me to shut up, but I kept doing it because I am apparently an idiot who does not know when to stop. This went on for months. Literally every hangout. Get a boyfriend, Kelsey. You need a boyfriend, Kelsey. Maybe a boyfriend would help with that, Kelsey. Then one day in March, she texts me a photo. It is her with some guy at what looks like a coffee shop. His arm is around her and they are both smiling. She goes, finally got that boyfriend you would not shut up about. I was actually happy for her. Texted back a bunch of congratulations and asked who he was. She said his name was Brian, and they met through mutual friends and had been talking for a few weeks. I asked why she did not tell me sooner, and she said she wanted to make sure it was serious first. Cool, good for Kelsey. I stopped making the boyfriend jokes. But then weird stuff started happening. She never brought him around. Every time I said she should bring Brian somewhere, she had an excuse. He was busy, he had family stuff, he was working late. After 6 weeks of this, I straight up asked her if Brian was even real. She got defensive at first, but then she just broke. Admitted the whole thing. Brian was not her boyfriend. The guy in the photos was her cousin from another state. She made the whole thing up because she was tired of my jokes. I felt like garbage. Apologized and told her to just say they broke up and move on. She agreed, thought that was the end of it. 2 weeks later, she calls me at like 10 at night, absolutely losing it. Turns out she did not just use her cousin's photos. She found some random guy on Instagram named Brian and had been catfishing him for a month pretending to be a girl from his high school. And he just texted saying he was 20 minutes away and excited to finally meet up. I said, Kelsey, what the hell did you do? She was freaking out, saying she could not let him show up at her apartment. She gave him her actual address like an idiot. I told her to tell him the truth. She said she could not and begged me to come over. I drove to her place and got there right as a car pulled up outside. Kelsey saw it from the window and completely panicked, grabbed my arm and shoved her phone at me, said I had to go down there and tell him she was not home. I went downstairs and this guy Brian got out of his car holding flowers. He looked so nervous and hopeful it made me want to throw up. He asked if I knew where Stephanie was. That was the fake name Kelsey used. I told him she was not there. He looked confused and checked his phone, said she told him this address. I said she must have given him the wrong one by mistake. He tried texting her, but obviously Kelsey was not responding. Then Kelsey's apartment light turned on. Brian saw it and pointed up asking if that was her place. I said no, but he was already walking toward the building entrance. I got in front of him and said he needed to leave. He asked what was going on and why I was acting weird. Then he looked at me closer and said, wait, do I know you? I said no. He pulled out his phone and showed me a photo. It was from Kelsey's Instagram. I was in the background of one of her posts. He said, you are friends with her. Where is she? That is when the door opened and Kelsey came out. I do not even know why she did that. Brian saw her and smiled and held up the flowers. He said, Stephanie, hey, I have been trying to text you. Kelsey just froze. Brian walked closer and then stopped. He looked at her face and then back at his phone. He said, you are not Stephanie. Kelsey shook her head. Brian stood there for a second. Then he dropped the flowers on the ground. Did not yell, did not ask why, just dropped them and got back in his car and left. Kelsey sat down on the curb and started crying. I sat next to her because honestly, what was I supposed to say? We stayed there for like 20 minutes until she finally got up and went back inside. She deleted all the fake accounts that night.